Yeah, I was never quite sure what Jerry was thinking of with this theme, VITA MOSA. I eventually worked it out, but initially I thought maybe he was going to christen a new cocktail at the drinks reception tonight. Or then I thought, well, maybe he's channeling his old disco years. But anyhow, I was up to the challenge, and I was very happy to butcher some of Ricky Martin's lyrics for my first slide. So I want to talk about the market research that we're doing for VITA. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through it in any sort of detail. This is just about telling you what's happening and encouraging you maybe to participate. So yeah, VITA commissioned me to undertake this research. Why? Because VITA's regularly asked for this sort of information. And well, certainly Jerry tells me he finds a lack of reliable, affordable published research. And I should underline affordable, because some market research can be just ridiculously expensive. So who's asking for it? Well, a lot of interested groups, but prime contractors are one, certainly. And it can be useful to them, as they're often making, as you know, the choice between make or buy. And I believe that reliable data, it gives them confidence that the merchant industry has the size, the strength, and competitiveness, crucially, to support projects with national security implications running over decades. So, as well as that, your target group, boards and systems vendors, you tell me you welcome an independent source of in-depth market research. How do you use that? Well, I'm surprised sometimes, exactly how you're using it, in some cases to actually guide product strategy. One of the messages in the report that was published last year was, how significant the move from boards into systems were. And certainly that's encouraged, with those numbers, that's encouraged at least one company to invest more in systems. So, as well as that, component suppliers from chip companies, connectors, everything, backplane companies they want to be able to look at those numbers and see what their available market is and what trends are affecting that. And sometimes investors, maybe through some of the big five financial organizations, approach you and say, can you tell us more about this market? We're looking for M&A opportunities, which are sometimes welcomed and sometimes not. But anyway, that they want that sort of data as well. So what's available from VITA? As I say, we published this 40-page market research document in October 2021. And that will tell you, if you haven't already downloaded it, market share percentages of major vendors, sales by revenue and units, sales by region and business, and the perceived trends affecting the business. So as well as that, we, as I mentioned from the floor, we also update with quarterly updates. The last one's about a 20-page report. It was published at the beginning of January. And that just looks at what's been happening over the last quarter. So that would be new product releases, contract wins, so anything that's been announced on defense budgets, any other significant moves within that might affect our industry. This is somewhere that you can really help me by making sure that I've got all that information to hand. Otherwise I'm sort of trailing through everyone's websites. But anyway, just looking at the highlights from the report that was published. So you'll see that the overall annual sales increased by 6.3%. Boards are the largest part, system sales growing faster. VPX is the fastest growing standard, but VME is still very much alive. So that's just a flavor of one of the kind of summary slide from the deck. And that you can see from that VPX is growing faster. VME remains a very significant part of the overall market value, representing about 55% of the total market. So yeah, VME. Whether you describe that as an open system or not, I don't know, but it certainly attracts a lot of headlines, including some very juicy new contract awards, like the £100 million design win, featuring a VME board for semiconductor processing. Something, well, I find that unexpected and quite impressive. So, as some of the other headlines saying, 40 years on, VME is still not dying off. So, that's almost embarrassingly good. So what are we doing this year? We will be producing another market research report looking at the years 2021 and 2022. I'll be sending out a questionnaire to members in Q1 for completion by Q2. And we'd really encourage you to get on board and, let us have some data. If the questionnaire doesn't quite suit you, let me know. Send in your insights in a free-form manner, and we'll build up a nice big picture of what's happening in the industry. We'll continue to do quarterly updates. And just one appeal is that, if you're launching a new system and there's, VPX content in that, publish it on the specification, publish it in the PR. We work very hard to build these standards. It's important that VITA gets the recognition for that. And, as a living example of the modular open systems approach. So I'd like to leave it there and open up any questions you might have.